Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to our elders apostles, the great millstone who taught us this truth and rule well. I want to give peace and blessings unto the Akim, putting on as the elect, striving for perfection and that crown of righteousness by being obedient to what's written inside these scriptures. Shalom. This is your brother Hassad out of Great Millstone, Houston, coming to you with a quick hit. All right, going into suffering. All right, instead of enjoying this season, enjoying this wicked world. Okay, it's better to suffer right now, man. Right, come out of this world in which we living in. You know, these people live in a false tense, a fictitious world. All right, all fiction, all made up and make believe. Okay, that this is some place, some lasting kingdom. It's a dream that you get to live it. You know, you have freedom and liberty, and there's justice. All right, once you have absolutely none, you know, if you're in this world, you know, starting with the Hebrew Israelites, who are the Negro, Latino, Native American man. All right, we are oppressed, you know, all the day long, led to the slaughter. They have set traps and snares to continue to destroy us, right? And so, through all these traps and snares that they have set, they're telling these people that they have nothing to be worried about. Okay? Sheep's and wolf's clothing are telling the Israelites that you have nothing to be worried about. When in actuality, man, you have everything to be worried about, right? And you should be fighting. You should be in the state of survival right now, man. You know, knowing that this world in which we live in is perishing away. Right? And the real men of the Lord, they are doing that, man. They have drawn themselves out of this world, right? And they're putting on, you know, they're walking towards the kingdom. Okay, their kingdom, they have a kingdom mindset. Okay, they're not putting up with this shit. You know, they're doing what is necessary, but they're putting their faith and their trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump it off in Hebrews 11 and 25. All right. Moses is speaking of this. It says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy pleasures of sin for a season. All right, so the people of Yahweh are the Israelites. Okay, the Native American, Latino, and the Negro, you know, who are languishing away at the bottom, man. You know, in dire needs, and you know, been getting hit with genocide, you know, for years now. So it says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. The world in which we live in is ran by the wicked, right? So it promotes everything that's wicked as being righteous and everything that's righteous as being evil. Okay, so it's exalting all this wickedness, so it's nothing but sin, vanity. You know, anything you put in before Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to lead to death and it leads to worthlessness at the end of the day, man. There's nothing in this world that's tangible, money, silver, gold, you know, stuff like that, wealth so called, that you can take with you. The scriptures goes into that. You work all hard and everything and then you die and then another man spends your wealth, right? So putting on putting on as the elect is getting in this fight. All right, fighting for those who ain't even fighting for themselves right now. All right, getting the blood off your hands and telling these people, warning these people that they need to repent, that the kingdom of Yahweh is coming. We have salvation through Yahweh Shai. Turn back to the old path. Right. Tell our people about their sins and transgressions, iniquities, and give them that instruction, that correction, which you find inside these scriptures, right? So, you know, we're not in that season of pleasure, okay? We're in that season of fighting right now, man. Okay? But this Isaiah 42 and 22, it says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. All right, these Israelites, they are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey in this world in which we live in, man. Right? And none deliver it for a spoil, and none said restored. So this is the state of the Hebrew Israelite that's in this world right now. While the rulers of this world is telling these people, go out, party, be merry, drink. While there's nothing but death and destruction going around. This is a haunted house. This is Babylon the Great. All right. This is the valley of the shadow of death. All right. So there's death on every corner. There's death on every side. Right. So this Ecclesiastes 3, start at 1. It says to everything there's a season. All right. And so, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay, so there's time to be happy, time to be joyous. Okay, there's a time to weep, a time to cry, right? But this is not the time to be in a doleful, sottish state, right? It says a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Okay, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. All right, and man, if you see the contrast, of the situation, it's a time, like you said, it's a time to embrace and a time to not to embrace, a time to build and a time not to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh. All right, time to mourn and time to dance. But these are all contrast with each other. And right now we're in that time of mourning. Okay, we're not in that time of dancing. We're in that time of doubling down and fighting. The good fight. Building up that faith as men of the Lord. All right, as Moses did and the prophets before has done. All right. So it says a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend, all right, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak, all right. So the time in which we live in right now is a time to speak. Speak out on what's going on in this world in which we live in. Speak out against the witchcraft and the enchantments that Esau Edom, the Edomite, self-proclaimed white man, who is ruling this world in wickedness, is pushing across the whole entire earth. All right. We're supposed to be crying out loud right now about the wicked abominations. All right. The rape of the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites that's going on. The rape and the murder of the Hebrew Israelites that's going on, with their families and how they're pushing the alphabet upon all the children, you know, on the earth, you know. So this Psalms 94:16. It says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Okay, the elect, the man that the Lord has chosen, predestinated since the foundations of the earth. All right, he has put this in them. He has made them with this strength at the end of the day to come out here on the highways and byways, week in and week out and prophesy, put up these videos testifying about, what's going on in this world, man. To bring out that lamentation, mourning, and woes. All right, Jake always got something to fucking laugh about, always giggling and shit, right? And it really just isn't the time to be in that type of mode. It's good to have a good laugh in there all the once, every once in a while. But if you just all the time walking around here happy go lucky and shit, man, the spirit's not dealing with you. So it says, unless the Lord has been my help, because we are oppressed here, man. Scriptures we was just talking about, so that how we are murdered all the day long, man. We are robbed and spoiled, as it talks about Isaiah 42 and 22, right? So it says, unless the Lord has been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. Okay, so now we're speaking out, man. The Lord is our help, and we're putting our trust in Yahweh, Yahweh, why Yahweh tried to deliver us from up out of this hellish condition in which we're in, man. The grave, not just not just our individual self, but as Moses said, man, I'm suffering with my people. All right, I want to see my people doing better out here. All right. The way of the world is individuality. One Israelite says he's doing good, so everybody else is supposed to just automatically be doing good. So he just totally disallows that it is the world that is set up to just destroy the so-called Negro race, the Latino and the Mexican race off the face of this earth. And it's the perpetual hatred the scriptures goes into, man. Right? But the Lord is our help, and so therefore we do not dwell in silence. The men of the Lord are fighting. All right. They are the mouthpiece of the prophets and the mouthpiece of Yahweh. The mouthpiece of the prophets are Yahweh, man. The mouthpiece of the prophets. Mouthpiece of Yahweh are the prophets, like okay, and they're crying out loud and they're making it known and making it plain upon tables, man. Which way you should go? They're singing this new song, right? And only those who have ears to hear are going to hear it. It's Hebrews 11:26. It says, esteeming the reproach of a Mashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. Okay, this is Moses once again. All right, it says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. All right, esteeming to being, being a prey, to not being casted out of society. Okay, being hated amongst men for being righteous, following after the righteous ways. All right, he esteemed that greater than the riches and than the treasures in Egypt, and as the men of the Lord are right now, man. They're not focused on tangible things. Okay, they're focused on getting that crown of righteousness, ruling in righteousness in this world to come. All right, seeing our people in better, in greater conditions and put back into their rightful state. So it says, "For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward." So he knew what the recompense of the reward was going to be. He had respect unto it. All right, he knew is greater things coming. This is not the end all be all in this condition in which we in. So we fighting for a better day. All right, this First Peter 4:12. It says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning that fiery trial, which is to try you as though some strange thing happened unto you." Okay, so there's a fiery trial that comes with being a righteous man following after Yahweh Shai. All right, which when it comes down to it, it's only to strengthen your faith. All right, embolden your faith up, build that faith up at the end of the day. The more tests and trials that you're hit with, the better, the more experience you go through. So the stronger is your hope, the stronger is your belief. All right, and you'll be made perfect. You're being made more and more perfect into that bright and beautiful day, man, the coming of the Lord. Right? So it says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers in the Mashiach's sufferings. All right, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceedingly joy." Okay, so in this season, which we in, which we are suffering. Okay, we enduring and suffering. That's having the ability to suffer. It goes into patience. So we having that patience right now in this season that we're in, suffering for Hamashiach's sake, not as evildoers out in this world, but as as men of the Lord, men of righteousness. Okay, so it says revealed. It says, when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. So we suffering now, and knowing that the coming of the Lord is nigh upon us. We're at the door. Okay. So we understand that, man, when he comes, man, we're gonna be delivered from this suffering. Okay. We look forward, we look to better things, man. Not this shit that we're living in and right now. That's like this is First Peter 4:14. It says, "If ye be reproached for the name of Mashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of the glory and of Yahweh rested upon you." Okay, and their part he is ill spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. All right, and that's part of being separated, being holy. At the end of the day, man, the spirit of Yahweh is going to rest upon you. Okay, he's emboldening you and giving you that strength to endure. You know, and this is important, man. You got to have that spirit on you to want to persevere. Want to fight. All right. See these things coming down the pipe. See and understand that, man, this is not our race. You know, this is First Peter 4:15. It says, "But let none of you suffer as a murderer, as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters." So we're suffering for Yahweh Shah's sake, and that's it. You know, we're dead to this world, and we're only alive through Yahweh Shai. So we're following after Yahweh Shai, after that example that he set, and all the other prophets up under him have set to follow up after. You know, being righteous, being obedient, being disciplined. All right, disciplined to the Father. You know, being about our Father's business day in and day out. You know, doing the will of Him. That's the only why we live. Only reason why we live. You know, only reason why He's given us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right. So First Peter 4:16 says, "Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, a follower of Yahweh, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Yahweh on this behalf." All right. So you're suffering for righteousness in this world. You're being separated from men. People are speaking down upon you. You know, you're suffering, man. You know, the scripture says it's honorable to suffer in this world for righteous sake, man. Right? Hebrews 11:27. And back to Moses, it says, "By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible." All right, so Moses endured by the faith of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, he wasn't worrying about punishment of this world for not following after man's ways, man's ideology, philosophy. No, he knew that Yahweh Shai is the end all be all, man. It's the everything. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 5:7. It says, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." So he was walking by faith and not by sight, not by, looking at these conditions and situations in which we're getting faced with on a day to day. All right. All this the so-called punishment from the draconian like system that is being implemented more and more each day. All right. Draconian laws, legislation being pushed, you know. These people exalt LGBT here, man. Right? Exalt women here, man. Right? Exalt the kid here. But the Israelite man is lesser and on a lesser level than a dog. You don't have nothing to say, you know. You're like a third class citizen here in this world in which we live, and people want to be a part of this wickedness. People will cuss you out by telling them that a Republican and a Democrat are the same thing, and they're both gonna have their place in the lake of fire. They'll cuss you out and depart from you for telling you that, telling them that, right? This 2 Corinthians 4:17. It says, "For," and this is last but not least, right? It says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment," all right, which is enduring in this world, following after Yahweh Shai, doing what thus say the Lord, all right, choosing to suffer rather than to to to, to enjoy a season of sin. Suffer now, you know. It says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and turning weight of glory." All right. So what we're going through right now is light, because at the end of the day, Esau's kingdom is coming to an end, and then we're going to be entered into an everlasting kingdom, and that everlasting kingdom is going to be full of glory. All right. And we're going to have that glory for eternity. These scriptures goes into. So we're entering into an eternal kingdom, all right, of peace, of love and joy, seeing us in our rightful state, seeing the women, the children, in our rightful estate, and that is what we're looking forward to. That's what we're striving towards. So with that, perfectly, this was edifying to the body. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash, and double honors to our elders apostles, a great millstone who taught us this truth, and we will. And peace and blessings to the Aki and put it on as the elect. Strive. Shalom.